testing, testing, 1, 2, and 3. So yes, okay. Talking about Black History Month. Let's see. I never really do anything for any holiday really, but why not? Maybe it's time to start. So there's a lot of stuff in the media about children getting hateful letters from other children at the school regarding their race, and to me that's so new. Anyhow, I got an email. Otherwise, we will have it's possible that the slots are full. Okay, but you can still give it a shot. Otherwise, we will have many more opportunities, and mainly we'll need volunteers and just our show in June. Okay. So I did not respond to this email immediately because I don't know why I was so mixed up with my Zoom meetings tomorrow from the Zoom meetings I had today. I had like a few meetings, and then I just for some reason assumed that, oh my god, I'm gonna have a Zoom meeting. But no, the Zoom meeting tomorrow is even earlier. It's like 7:30 a.m. and I could have probably made it if I finished 8:30 and then dress or dress before and then go downtown LA by 10 a.m. To volunteer for a fashion show for NAACP. So, oh, she gave me a contact. So, I'll contact them to see if they still need openings, even though I really don't want to volunteer because this is like a 6-hour gig, which is pretty intense. Actually, tomorrow we have a storm. So that's another reason why it's not the best time to go on an adventure downtown LA. Yeah, this morning. And then it'll go on until 9 a.m. Interesting. So the storm will be over by 9 a.m., but then it will resume again on Friday. So that's weird. All I know is that we have a 3-day storm coming. So things can change. It can say it's starting at 7, but it may start at 9. So anyway, so in contribution to that, I live near Culver City. Culver City is a very beautiful place. Sorry, my allergies. So, oh yeah, let me pull up this news coverage from yesterday. So why did this is, how did I come across this article? Oh my God, I was minding my own business. Yesterday there was an active shooter in Culver City, so I decided to try to get information about the active shooter as far as like what happened. Was she having a breakdown? Did she really have a gun? Was there anybody hostage? So I'm like Googling hostage or shooter or armed or whatever in Culver City, and instead I got this article about the hidden history of Culver City. And I'm going to show you somehow. You'll see my Google search and then the results. So you see the search. It's a little blurry. You can kind of see active shooter Culver City. Okay. See, that came up. Active shooter. You can read that. Oh my God, the blur is real. Let's see. Oh my God, this is so bad. Okay, there. So then this article came up. The hidden history. I wonder how to get that glare. Okay, there it is. The hidden history of Culver City. Racism. This kind of gave me a flashback of, I'm going to put an article up here and read it to you. I was playing this video game with someone, and oh my God, what was it? It was BioShock. I think it was BioShock. I don't know, one of those. But it was one of those scenes that popped up like a carnival, but it wasn't really a carnival. Just all of a sudden, it was one of those scenes where they have a bucket of baseballs and then they're throwing it at a black person. And before, for what I understand, they used to throw it at the baby, which is really brutal because I'm sure that was that resulted in murder. So, okay, I am going to share my screen and we'll read it together. See, how do I do it? All right. This is just some educational purpose since it is Black History Month. The hidden history of Culver City racism. A resident explores the community's ugly past. Now, before I read this article, I want you to know that I've been living near Culver City for almost 10 years, and I absolutely love and adore Culver City. It's like, it does have a lot of historic, and I'll say a lot, it's a very small city, but there are still some old historic buildings. They filmed The Wizard of Oz here, very famous, show, cartoon. Not a cartoon, I'm sorry, but by Warner Brothers, whatever you want to call it. But that was one of my favorite cartoons. Why did I say cartoons? What do I call it? It was one of my favorite movies growing up. So, you can kind of feel it that Culver City had that authentic part of the past where there was segregation going on, and how, because I came across, I googled Helms Bakery. It's down the street. It's now converted to a Scandinavian furniture design store, really fancy stuff, fancy furniture from Scandinavia. Like, who in the hell buys a Scandinavian sofa? I don't know, not me. Maybe when I get that multi-million-dollar house, maybe I'll say, oh, I want a Scandinavian couch. So anyhow, I never went in that furniture store because, yeah, I don't think it's out my league. So, anyways, actually, I still do not know who left this beautiful plant for me as a morning present or gift, or as their condolences after the passing of my brother. But for what I do remember is that there was a little note inside the planter that said Helms florist, or like a florist. So there's a florist, there's Helms District. So Helms District was like a big warehouse, from the way I can explain it, where they would have bakers, like bakers, mainly originally baking bread. And so they were like your older version of like Uber Eats or Instacart, more like Instacart, because it was more like grocery. First it was just bread, and then they started making like desserts, like cookies and pies and cakes, and then they also were delivering milk. And they had these like cute little buggy like buses. I'll put up some footage because I was watching some videos about the Helms legacy. Unfortunately, after the man passed away, his children did not carry that on, which I think is so sad because it was a very beautiful thing. So, and this is in Culver City, Helms Bakery, and you can tell it's like, it's such a, like, it gives you that old school feeling, very authentic. So here's some photos. Like, look, this is how they used to dress. They used to drive in the neighborhood like an ice cream truck, right? Oh, what is this? Wrong stuff. I know. Shopping, shopaholic. I don't cheat, I shop. Okay. You don't have to worry about me cheating, honey. Okay. But this is what the car used to look like. So does that give you an idea around that era? And I watched some old videos, some black and white videos. Like, look how cute that is. Like, everything just seems so nice. Like, they will just drive around during the day. This is in the 50s. And the housewives, of course, they'll just be waiting while the husband's at work and the wife is just cooking, whatever. And they'll wait for this guy to pull up and they'll get bread. It's like the grocery store stopping by, and they'll just get the items that they needed. They will have flour, the necessities. And look, they will have tons of these. They will go out every day. So in the morning, they will look at, they have workers up there building. So this Helm Bakery building is still there, Culver City. So it's just a beautiful piece of history. Now this whole district now is broken into like tons of different restaurants. I've been to several restaurants there. They have Pasta Sisters, they have the father's office, and then there's another place where it's the Destroyer. And then there's like another breakfast place in the corner. So I've been to several, but there are like tons. Like here, there's like rows of restaurants. And that's what they turned it into now. They have some shops here. But look how this huge machine, and you'll see, maybe I'll play a video on YouTube, how they would have commercials. And I just thought this is just, look at this, the cookies. Oh my God, this cookie looks so good. If that's how the cookies used to look. Are these like, wait a minute, wait, these kids have masks, so this is not, this is recent. Like, how did this happen? Did they just crop and paste these kids here with the mask? Because the pandemic just happened, so I have no idea how those kids end up there, anyhow. But unfortunately, like I said, during the time in the 50s, all the footage I seen, so that's one thing I noticed, the theme. There were no black people, but see, there's like mainly just white people. But I think I seen one scene where there was like a black housewife and some kids who were running up to the truck to get food. But usually the photos will look like this. This will be the typical what you'll get from the footage. This is the typical American family. This is typical American family. Very standard here. And I think even later around that time, it was easier to buy a house. So especially from, I would say not the second generation, I'd say the first generation, maybe some war vets, and then the second one was like maybe like industrial workers or warehouse workers. So even just slowly beginning, like black people were starting to get in the game as far as buying houses and stuff in the 50s, right? So that's why in these photos, excuse me, you'll hardly see, I know that's gross, I don't know why that's happening, but I did drink, I put it over there. I was drinking something because so I just think it was a beautiful system they had, and it's just so unfortunate that that's gone away. Like, look at this. Oh, that, I never seen that footage before. That's so cute. And look how the bread looked. The bread looked really good. Look, it was very white. I don't know if they put bleach in it or not. But look how white. It's almost like, what's the famous bread? Oh my God, I'm getting a blank. The kind with the blue. I don't eat bread anymore, so I can't come. And look how it was in a paper, right? Now the bread comes in like a little plastic thing, but look how the bread used to come. I mean, just so cute, right? So I'm getting off. So, okay, let's read. That's the history of Culver City. Let's read about more history. All right, welcome to Culver City. Heart and hand we're with you. Oh, we're with you. We are with you. Green land. So, what does this look? Well, I have no idea. This is before my time, but let's find out. Home to two major film studios. Yes, Warner Brothers, and what's the other one? Sony Studios. I've been to them several times. Okay. It's a beautiful place. The town is over 100 years old. I'm not going to read word for word. Beautiful lime trees. A very, well, now it is a diverse population. I do not know about back then. However, long ago, my sister called to tell me about James Lowen's book, Sundown Towns. Quote, did you know Culver City was a sundown town? She asked. The book reveals a nation filled with segregated all-whites town, some of which posted signs at their city limits reading, and don't let the sun go down on you, end quote. I was appalled and immediately ordered the book. Maybe I should order this book. Why aren't we talking about this? So what is this show downtown? Oh, Sundown Town, sorry. My assumption is sundown meaning there was like a curfew for black people. Actually, on here, let me text this lady, see if she have any spots for tomorrow. Sorry, multitasking. But hey, if they say no, I'll be happy because I know tomorrow is going to be cold and wet and miserable. So they have another opportunity. Oh yeah, damn it, they need more people. Shit, I was hoping they'll say no. But okay, so let me text the lady. Walker or Mr. Sorry, it's a guy. Okay, I'll text. Let's say, okay, I'll give him a text. I know, I don't know why. I really sometimes overextend myself. I really do. But you know, I came to this point in my life where I actually volunteer on occasions, and Culver City is one of the places that I volunteered a lot of my time. Because I just love Culver City so much. I volunteered at the senior citizen community center and done a lot of things to help them out, events and prepping things and deliveries, etc., etc. So hello, Mr. Walker. I'm a fashion student and I am open to become a volunteer tomorrow, period. If you still need volunteers, please let me know. I think that's, yeah. If you still need volunteers, please let me know. A fashion student. I'm a fashion student. I'm a fashion student at, well, I don't know how to put it. I'm taking a fashion course, but whatever. All right, so that's done. Okay, so my assumption of a sundown showdown is like guns. A sundown, oops, you see how Google do? I hate that shit because it just kind of like reveals people information. Okay, what is it? To me, it's an assumption that that black people better not be caught slipping at night. So, so also known as sunset towns, gray towns, or sundown towns, are all white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States that practice, let's read more, that practice a form of racial segregation by excluding non-whites via some combination of discriminatory law, local laws, intimidation, or violence. The term came from the sign posted like colored only. Okay, but what does it mean, sundown? Okay, so that's the definition. All right, now let's read. And this is a very long article. Like, look how long it is. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, those are references, so I'm tired already. Okay, free excursion to Culver City Saturday at 1 p.m. What is this? Okay, 1915. Oh, this is one for 1915. What was it? See this model little white city, scarcely a year and a half old. Wow, since 1915. Hmm. So, learn the interesting history of this growth, a growth that has been talked of Southern California. See if you don't agree. Blah, 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 blah. Population of 10,000 in 1920. So, okay, let's finish reading. So, this book talks about the hidden history. Um, so, probably they have a lot of descendants that are still in Culver City, right? Because when I did the volunteer work and I delivered um, flowers and gift baskets, etc., to some of the seniors or senior citizens, some of them was like 100 years old. Um, but sometimes my assumption is, and they live in like a house community, not sorry, like apartment community. So my assumption would be like those who come from old money, um, have like these multi-million-dollar houses. To me, will be the majority of those who ancestors. I'm not saying ancestors, or maybe their fathers probably practice these kind of things. So, in the early days, and Harry Culver, okay, the name came from a guy, Harry Culver. That is interesting. So they named the city after someone. Hmm, I didn't know that. So KKK had a large presence in Culver City and throughout Southern California in the 20s and 30s. Oh, right here in Culver City. Okay. Good to know. So, okay, what is this here? Another flyer. A big box of fine candy. Two, a real Christmas present that will tickle you. 50-foot lots, $550 and up. What is a lot? Because that sounds like a lot back then, but maybe back then that means you can buy a big piece of property for $550. Wow. So, all right. Without reading this whole article, so blacks were excluded from decision-making positions. Of course, those hierarchical um, positions. So the only presence was a group of African cannibals. Well, that sounds weird. So I'm reading from here. So, wow, the neighborhood located near Culver City was even less subtle, promising presence of fine candy. Apparently, Santa was a racist because the ad at the left qualified lots in present restricted to Caucasian race. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. All right, you see the highlighted yellow. Okay, lots in presence restricted to Caucasian race. So only white people were able to purchase this lots, and that explains a lot of lots of disadvantage. Okay. So moving on, reading more. Company's sales force of 70 men perform a large minstrel show to raise money. Okay. Races. Black people typically stage mainly by white men in blackface. So that's the history about the acting. There are several implications in this statement. Keeping low income African Americans low. Oops, didn't mean to click there. Okay. By 1927, the president of the Realty Board delivered a paper, I guess, regarding those restrictions here in the same year. Los Angeles recommends that realtors should not sell property other than Caucasian in territories coupled by them. Ah. Yeah, this is sad because some believe, and I'm not gonna say me myself. I am going to be objective. So, oh, why am I so sleepy? Oh my god. I know why. I was awoken at 4 in the morning. You think I went back to sleep? No. And then I had to get up at 6 a.m. And then I had a meeting at 8 and then 9:30 and then on and on and on. So, okay. So, without reading all of this, they're talking about different laws, different restrictions implemented by Supreme Court prohibiting racial restricted housing. So it announced it had drafted a constitutional amendment. So this is where I suppose some changes start to happen, which is not until 1948. So not until 1948, blacks were slowly beginning to have access or rights to purchase lots and property. But do you think they had the money or the connection? So just say, okay, a black person can buy a house, but in order to buy a house, what do you need? You need a job, right? Not only you need a job, but you need to get a loan from the bank. Who's gonna hire the black man at the job in 1948? Who do you think his boss is? Who do you think the banker is? Who do you think is selling the house? So do you see where this is going? So anyhow, even though they kind of opened the doors are still kind of shut. It's open a little bit, but yeah. So anyhow, that's the theory I want to talk about without directly talking about it. So, all right, let's read this. That said premise shall not nor shall any part therefore ever be conveyed, transferred, leased, or dismissed to any person other than, okay, of a white or Caucasian. So this reminds me, what's the show I watch? Was it Us or Them? It was one of those shows, Us or Them, about the couple who moves to, I say Africa, Jesus God, who moved to Compton. And there's a big boom of black people moving to Compton from the southern areas like Mississippi, Alabama, and that maybe explains part of that was part of my grandparents' generation because they were from the South and they moved here to Compton and bought a house. So, and I think the reason why my grandparents or my grandfather had this opportunity is because my grandfather was in the war. He fought Vietnam War. He's a vet. He got a Purple Heart, so he was injured on the main line in Vietnam. And only because of that, my grandfather had some open opportunity to buy a house. And then there was a big boom, I guess, here, and they all kind of like migrated here. So that's how that story began. And so they bought a house in Compton. And that's why during this time, a lot of black people moved to Compton, and then God knows what the hell happened from the 50s to the 80s. That should just flip where you got all the gang members and, because the crack, they started to drop cocaine in the neighborhood, and it's a whole nother story, conspiracy, how the government wanted to, turn upside down African American from building. And what they did is they just like dropped a lot of drugs in these black neighborhoods. So, yeah, that's kind of what happened. The law started to change about the 50s. So yeah, it says here the war after World War II. So that's not World War II, but you know what I mean. Let's see, when did Vietnam War end? So and Vietnam, VEI. Sorry, My fingers are going all over the place. Okay, so that's about time. From 19, sorry, did it go for this long? God damn. 20 years. Jesus. I didn't even know that. That's horrible. So, yeah, that kind of explains that time period, right? So, it was like right after World War II ended? About, okay, not right after. Okay, approximately 10 years after World War II. So, then you got the Vietnam War, right? So let's see. I'm trying to calculate the age of everybody. So my mom. Um. So yeah, that kind of calculates the time around the 50s. Um. Maybe 60s. Maybe late 50s, where which it explains here between the Vietnam War, right? So late 50s or early 60s or so is when my grandfather, fought in the war and then came here, got the house in Compton, just like a lot of African American. And then so around the 60s, I would say probably around the 70s. When did they have the crack pandemic? No, epidemic. No, pandemic. Pandemic Compton. So around the 80s. Just like I said, it was around the 80s, right? So that kind of explains. So just say, damn it. So the war ended. I don't know the exact dates when my grandfather was, finally finished with his round with the war. So I will presume, because I'm trying to calculate with my age, 50s, late 50s, early 60s, and then 60s to 70s. We got almost 20 years where black people were starting to thrive, right, between the late 60s and then around the 70s, and then the plan came, the crack pandemic, right, epidemic, I'm sorry. So that's when the crack started to flood the neighborhoods, and not only the cracks, but then it started with the people getting arrested for selling the crack. So not only they were getting people hooked on crack, but they were also jailing a lot of black men. And then all this created a lot of gangs, right? Separation. And that was a very successful plan, as you see. So, so during that time, it's funny because when that movie, that movie, I forgot the name of the movie, when he bought the house, it said that he couldn't sell the house or transfer it to anybody that was black. So it was kind of some weird stipulations when they did get the house. So they really couldn't move, but while they were living there in the house in Compton, they were subjected to all kinds of racism in the movie, which was based on a real life story. So KKK, I don't go through all that. Discouraged celebrating the birth of a nation. That goes back. Oh, that's from the movie The Birth of a Nation. Okay, yeah. So Klansmen there was 37 suspected Klansmen who murdered suspected Latino bootlegger, 1923. They were listed as working in a motion picture. Okay. Interesting. Okay. My computer is freezing. Yeah, I wonder at this time, because it mentions here Latino. I wonder, you know what? How like how did things play on Latinos during this time? I haven't heard of any stories or history about what they went through and what they experienced during this time period. So that's very interesting. It's not like they just popped up here overnight, right? So yeah, I wonder what the stories are, or when did they started to become more, I don't know, more like acknowledging certain things. I'm trying to use basic language because that's how you got to do it. Culver City Police play a significant role maintaining the color lines in the city. 1940s, the chief was accused of misconduct and recruiting for the Klan. Blah 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 blah. So okay. Hmm. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but more than 250 persons attended the meeting one night this week, according to the reports for KKK. Unsuccessful. The city clerk charged that affidavit signed concerning were missing from officers. Okay, so look like they just starting to to crack down on these activities around this time. But the article, oh my god, it's so long. I'm so tired. Confronting our past. So okay, now here it talks here. Continuing to hunt. Okay, shocking inequalities grounded in the homes people own. The Mexicans have a medium of 3,000. Like, for what year is this? Medium of 3,000. Oh, they mean how much they make a month. Okay, that might be true. Yeah. So, oh my God, this is crazy. Compared to whites, 300 and wait, that don't sound right. You know, this lady, she is really pissing me off downstairs. Really pissing me off. Um, she gonna learn one day how to use her sink. All right, so like I said, how can a black man or Latino man advance if they have restrictions and if there are these qualifications? All right, let me pause this. I'm getting really like, oh my God, 37 minutes. How do I pause? It's so windy. All right, I'm back. Whew. So, yeah, so Culver City, but I wonder what about Santa Monica? Um, because I'm sure, how did Culver City look during that time? Was that in the 20s? Let's say Culver City in 1920s. Did I say footage or images? I don't know. Everything was spread it out. It was just Culver City, and there was no. What's next to Culver City? Like Mar Vista and all these like little other cities. It was just Culver City. Like, look how everything was spread out. Oh, they had Swatel. They had Inglewood. Okay. Okay, but look how the streets were so wide. They had so much space. Look at the cars. Also, they were like traffic controllers. They still have this building downtown Culver City. This is like now near downtown. But look how everything is spread out. Oh, so they have the studios. This is Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is not here though. Oh, they still have this place here. Oh, wow. It looks like that still. Wow. I love vintage photos. I really do. They had a train. Oh, I think I know. This is the train now. This is the. Now this train is. Which train is that? Is that the one by my house? Now it's the blue line going downtown LA. Very interesting. Interesting. I want to click on the map, but I can't. Not. I cannot. There's earthquake. 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 Yeah. So that is about it. That is about it. Like, what the hell is this? Culver City Boys? Well, look how the streets were. Yeah. Yep, this building is still here. Oh, the Culver Hotel, my favorite little place. They have live bands there. What's this? Oh, I have no idea where that is. Well, could you imagine people going back and looking at our photos 100 years from now? Can you imagine in the future looking at our photos, our Instagram? Like, you see how they look? To them, this was their Instagram. This is Culver City Hotel entrance. Was this the Culver Hotel? I think it was. Oh my god, they got the horse. Yeah, Culver City is a very interesting city in a good way. It has some history. But maybe not the history that, like, there's no diversity because nowadays they really make sure, they really push in, making sure you see some diversity. Every damn commercial, every, there's this inclusivity now. Um, Even TV shows, I'm watching the Netflix shows and they got a black person, they got a mix, they got an Asian, they got a white, they got an Indian. Every single show almost, they make sure it is mixed, diverse. But back then you didn't see that. Look, you didn't. There was no diversity, no diversity. That they weren't going for that shit. There was no diversity during that time. No diversity. No diversity. No diversity. New diversity. New diversity. Nope, 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 no. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh. Oh, wait, he looks mixed. I'm kidding. Oh. I'm like, wait, you're mixed. I'm kidding, but still. But you know what I mean, generally. There was no diversity. So, West End, like, this is the sign. Look at this original sign. Look at how the signs used to be. This vintage old sign. It's, and it still lights up. Wow. Oh, I know where this is. This is like a weird area. It's like in the neighborhood. And then like bam, there's like this hotel. And I was like, what the hell? It was so random. Yeah, look how random this hotel is. So weird. It has a weird ass location. But I went inside because this was back in the days I was doing the fucking delivery, excuse my French. Um, and I was like, wow, it looks so beautiful inside. West End Hotel. Where's some inside footage? West End, West End. But no, it's very nice inside. You wouldn't believe how it looks inside. Yeah. Oh, no. Where is this place? Hmm. Pale Hotel? Huh, never been there. Like, look at how the houses, they're all flat. These houses are very typical for around this time. They were just flat and long. My mom's house is built like this. Look, this style is long and flat. This how the houses were made back in the days. The roof was flat, but nice. It's the history of how houses used to be built. So I don't know what they call this style, but I guess these were made in the 40s or 50s, I suppose, like 50s style. I heard they're bringing this style back. Now they're making houses like this. Or like, no, not like that, but yeah. But this was those, yeah, this 50s, 60s, 70s. All houses look like that. Now they look like this. Now the houses, they look like this. See the big difference? How they look? Yeah. So, alright, I'm gonna go. How long is it? Has it been? Um, I know NAACP stands for National African American something, but I don't know. I'm so tired. Maybe I'll get some good sleep by tomorrow. Oh, what the hell? It says Roach. Hell E Roach Studios. Not that kind of roach. Oh, hell no. Can you imagine your name has Roach? Your last name is Roach? Mm-mm. So let's see. Culver City. Racism. Sun. Downtown. We want the white tenants in our community. Okay. Yeah. What's this? I'm sure slowly they're getting rid of certain history like that, like of racism. I'm sure they are trying to destroy those kind of things so people will not be aware of that. So look how it used to look. Flint Ridge, new Los Angeles Civic Center. So LA, look how spread out. Culver City, Inglewood, Palms. Okay, Palms is already there. This is where I live now. Yeah, it's a cool area. I like it. It's alright. Oh, what is this shit? White only within city limits after dark. Houselessness and banish. Whites only after dark. Why? Because try to assume that black people were committing crimes or so we couldn't go out and have fun. Oh my god. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But what's the name of that school? Upland School. There was some news coverage last night here, 14 hours ago. Pepper tree, yeah. So, bully drawings. They made drawings of cotton pickers and made racial comments towards other students. I mean, how does a kid know to do that? That's just really extreme. Probably the parent drew this. To my favorite cotton picker. Does a kid know what the hell cotton look like to draw it? Like, how would a kid know? Oh, I didn't see all that. Happy Black History. Mom, I can't see it. It's the other side. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Disgrace. So, why 100 years later we still face this? And it says here something about my favorite monkey, my favorite cotton picker. Why is this still happening 100 years later? That's Illuminati calling me. Sixth grader. Sixth grader. How old is a kid in sixth grade? Let's see. Ages of sixth grader. Age of a sixth grader. Goddamn well, this should history is from 100 years ago, and the kid is only 11, not even hard, approximately 10 years old. Come on, come on. Where does an 11-year-old know that? It came from the home. It came from the home. It's no way like a kid at 11 years old would know that kind of history or know that much. Unless it depends. What are they teaching in school? History. Yeah. So, anyways, I'll say good night. But it's daytime. But I really feel like taking a nap. And if they don't text me, oh God, he did text me. All right, Marlena. I guess I'm going tomorrow. I am going to volunteer. Yay! They said they'll give you a free lunch, but that's not always happy ending for me because I have so many allergies. Usually, a lunch is going to include bread, like a sandwich, and I can't eat the bread because of I'm allergic. So usually, what I'm gonna just eat the inside, or I just can't eat it, and it's always a misery for me. So I will make my own lunch. I'll pack a lunch to go because 6 hours is a long time. So I should take snacks anyways. All right. So thank you and have a great rest of your day.